When a town gets deserted for whatever reason, it freezes in time, leaving behind a snapshot of what it used to be, but just empty without a living soul in sight. These ghost towns are usually quite creepy, so in this list we'll be showing you our top 5 creepiest ghost towns. We would like to give a big shout out to viewer aicMadSeason for suggesting this video. Number 5. Kolmanskop. Kolmanskop is a ghost town in southern Namibia. In 1908, the area was plunged into diamond fever, and people rushed into the Namib desert hoping to make an easy fortune. Within 2 years, a town complete with a casino, school, hospital and exclusive residential buildings was established in the sandy desert. But shortly after the drop in diamond sales after the First World War, the beginning of the end started. During the 1950s, the town was deserted and the dunes began to reclaim what was always theirs. Soon the metal screens collapsed and the pretty gardens and tidy streets were buried under sand. A couple of old buildings are still standing and some interiors like the theatre are still in good condition, but the rest are crumbling ruins. Number 4. Gunkanjima. This island is one among 505 uninhabited islands around Japan, about 15 kilometers from Nagasaki. It is also known as Gunkanjima or Battleship Island thanks to its high sea walls. It began in 1890 when the company Mitsubishi bought the island and began a project to retrieve coal from the bottom of the sea. This attracted much attention, and in 1916 they were forced to build Japan's first large concrete building on the island. A block of apartments that would both accommodate the workers and protect them from hurricanes. In 1959, the population had swelled and boasted one of the highest population densities ever recorded worldwide. As petroleum replaced coal in Japan in the 1960s, coal mines began shutting down all over the country, and this island was no exception. In 1974, Mitsubishi officially announced the closing of the mine, and today it is empty and bare, with travel prohibited until recently in 2009. Number 3. Kadakchan. Kadakchan was one of many small Russian cities that fell into ruin when the Soviet Union collapsed. Residents were forced to move to gain access to services like running water, schools and medical care. The state moved them out over a period of 2 weeks, and they were taken to other towns and provided with new housing. Once a tin mining town of 12,000 people, the city is now deserted. In their hurry to leave, residents left their belongings behind in their homes, so you can now find aging toys, books, clothing and other objects throughout the empty city. Number 2. Kowloon Walled City. The Kowloon Walled City was located just outside Hong Kong, China during British rule. A former watch post to protect the area against pirates, it was occupied by Japan during World War II and subsequently taken over by squatters after Japan's surrender. Neither Britain nor China wanted responsibility for it, so it became its own lawless city. Its population flourished for decades, with residents building twisting corridors above the street level, which was clogged with trash. The buildings grew so tall that sunlight couldn't reach the bottom levels, and the entire city had to be illuminated with fluorescent lights. It was a place where brothels, casinos, opium dens, cocaine parlours, food courts serving dog meat and secret factories ran untouched by the authorities. It was finally torn down in 1993 after a mutual decision was made by the British and Chinese authorities, who had finally grown wary of the unsanitary city and its out-of-control population. Number 1. Pripyat. Pripyat is the city in the zone of alienation in northern Ukraine, home to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Abandoned in 1986, its population had been around 50,000 prior to the accident. Until recently, the site was practically a museum, documenting the late Soviet era. Apartment buildings, swimming pools, hospitals and other buildings were all abandoned, and everything inside the buildings was left behind, including records, papers, TVs, children's toys, furniture, valuables, clothing and much more. Residents were only allowed to take away a suitcase full of documents, books and clothes that were not contaminated. However, many of the apartment buildings were almost completely looted sometime around the beginning of the 21st century. Nothing of value was left behind, even toilet seats were taken away. Some buildings have, however, remained untouched. Because the buildings are not maintained, the roofs leak, and in the spring the rooms are flooded with water. It is not unusual to find trees growing on roofs or even inside buildings. Since the area won't be safe for people for another 20,000 years, it will remain as a ghost town for generations, making it more creepy but amazing as time goes on. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a comment below, and if we make it, we'll give you a big shout out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome daily lists of all things 5. This is All 5, and until next time, feed your mind.